Hello, welcome to the Ascent of Mount Carmel YouTube channel. Today we're discussing the final chapter of the first book, Ascent of Mount Carmel by St. John of the Cross. This is the shortest chapter that we've read thus far. In an earlier installment, I jokingly suggested that reading Ascent of Mount Carmel is like getting a master's degree in mystical theology. Well, if that was really true, today is sort of like graduating from high school. Just as high school taught us our basic skills, the book of Ascent of Mount Carmel taught us the basic skills that we need to make progress in our pursuit of divine union with God. We'll build on these skills in the next book of Ascent of Mount Carmel. St. John tells us that once we purge ourselves of worldly desires, is a lot like escaping from jail. The bars of this jail are the desires that have plagued us throughout our lives. Now we can start seeing through the matrix that's been holding us back all these years. And actually, our situation is very similar to the movie The Matrix. Just as Neo had Morpheus to guide him through the Matrix, we now have St. John of the Cross guiding us through our new reality that we're dealing with. And he's going to guide us and help us progress. As you know, St. John of the Cross uses the imagery of the dark night of the soul. So right now, we're just a few minutes to midnight. And please remember that this dark night isn't dark because it's frightening or something bad is happening. It's dark because we've darkened our senses to our desires and the neon and the glitter of the world. It's really a very happy chance that we've even gotten to this point, and we've only done so through the grace of God. As we embark on the second book, we shouldn't stop trying to mortify our desires because we've probably not completed this task. So we should try to make it a habit to regularly go back to chapter 13 and reread the exercises St. John set forth there. And actually, after you've read the entire book of Ascent of Mount Carmel, it's good to reread the whole book periodically from time to time. Otherwise, we tend to get lax and a bit slothful with our modest asceticism. Our goal is to lull our desires to sleep so that our sensual nature is free from those desires, and then we're free from them making war on our soul. If we can do this, our soul is then free to find the Spirit of God. If you've gotten this far through the book, presumably you want to achieve these goals. And the only way we're going to do it is to rely on St. John of the Cross as our ultimate spiritual director. If anybody else gives us conflicting advice, and surely that's going to happen, we should rely on the wisdom of St. John of the Cross. For John of the Cross did conform his will to the will of God. Therefore, I'm very hopeful that we'll all try to emulate St. John and try to emulate what he believed in, what he taught in regard to faith, theology, and asceticism.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
As you recall, St. John wrote Ascent of Mount Carmel for his fellow clerics. He was therefore assuming a certain level of understanding and knowledge among his readers. Before we jump into Book 2, it's prudent to look into these things. We want to make sure we're firing on all cylinders. We need to practice the practices of St. John of the Cross in order to make progress. We'll be back again in about a week with the first of these installments. And then we move on to Book 2. In the meantime, please pray for the church.